capital, ¿cierto? An hour from the capital. The capital of the country is Bogota. So from there is an hour to get to where the cathedral is. The other way could be the river, but the problem is that there are some spaces that you cannot go in the boat. It's not possible. So the only way is actually fly. Okay? When there from the capital, me too, where the diocese, the cathedral is. So from there, Bishop has to go and visit his 26 communities. He has 26 communities, 24 languages. He speaks Spanish, and also he is learning one of the most important, ¿cómo se llama la otra lengua que estás aprendiendo? Tucano. That's one of the native language, and he's learning that one. It's one of them. A lot of them speak that one. But they have also, so almost all of them speak both Spanish and their own native language. The elderly, some of them, they don't. So what happens is that the younger, they have to translate for the what else? So there are some communities, for example, for him to get to one of the communities can take 6 hours through the river, okay, by boat. There are, for example, where the new parish is going to be built from the capital, from the cathedral to this place is half hour. And this little is just one motor airplane. It's a small one. So that's how he gets there. He has to pay. ¿Cómo haces? Las avionetas son de, ¿a quién pertenecen? ¿Las Aquila? Sí, Aquila. Yes. So they have to pay to use the little airplanes and also the gas, which now a gallon of gas there is $9 because everything comes through airplane. Everything, a tomato, onions, everything comes. Why, you may ask, why they don't have vegetables and stuff there? They don't grow because of the ground is a lot of acids there, so you cannot actually. And actually, that was a question last night. What about the fish? Because of the acids on the water, there are no also a lot of fish. Okay, so questions, Monseñor? There are more than 250 different indigenous villages. So. Questions?
I would just like to make sure I understand. There's 250, what did you just say?
Villages. Small village, yes.
And those 250 villages makes up the 26 dioceses?
No, the 26 different indigenous groups.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
And between those 26, there are 24 languages, native languages. Okay, there was a question, Jason. He had a question. Was about, is there any kind of, how do they trade? How do you call that?
Do they have any kind of trade?
Yes, any kind of trade, yes. That's what they do because they don't have salt and batteries for the radio. Is the only way to communicate is through letter or those that the police use. But they don't go, of course, it's gonna be just for the near communities. So letter and so for example, they use a lot of batteries for the radio to listen to the mass and the news. Sometimes that's the only way to communicate. So what they're gonna do is they will come to the center, to the Me Too, downtown, and have the trade. They will bring ¿qué pueden traer para cambiar? Fish or wild animal. So they will bring this animal and then they will receive some batteries, or sometimes a lot of people use clothes. Sometimes also that happens. They will give clothes and that's how they survive. And some of them may have yucca. I don't know who knows yucca. Okay, yucca. And the one they have there, the problem is it has poison.
Cyanide.
Exactly. So they have to process the yucca in order for them to eat the yucca. But that's one of the basis for basis food there in the communities. So they will give yuca, some harina, flour, some flour. They will give flour to the people at that town, and they will receive batteries and salt, especially.
Ellos viven cultivan la yuca, la procesan, de ahí sacan una harina o hacen una torta.
That was a question last night. What is a regular day there? They are food, what do they eat? So Bishop was explaining that they eat every day the same 7 days a week, and every year they have the same. Their life is really not.
La yuca no se da sino ahí en la Amazonía, esta clase de yuca que contiene cianuro.
Okay, so this kind of yuca with this poison is only there. It's only from the Amazon.
Ellos le extraen el veneno, la mujer es la que sabe hacer el proceso.
So as we said before, they will extract the poisons of the yuca. The woman is the one who knows how to do the process, how to do it.
Y el agua que sacan, o sea, la cocinan, que es una bebida.
So the water that comes from the yuca is gonna be like a liquid and has to be cooked.
Y los ríos son pobres en pescado, no tienen mucho pescado.
As I said before, the river, there are no a lot of fish in the river.
Entonces ellos hacen un caldo, una agua, cocinan el pescado con ají.
So they will, but what are they gonna have for dinner is they put some fish in this water and peppers, but half peppers, really hot.
Si han cogido poco pescado, pues lo desmenuzan para que rinda ahí. Y ahí todos comen la torta de la yuca, remojan ahí en ese caldo.
And they will make a cake from the flour of the yuca, and that's what they're gonna eat. They eat a lot of that. That's their dietary food. So they will drop the cake, yuca cake, on this water, kind of soup, and that's what they're gonna eat. If there is fish, they will mix the soup fish. If no, sometimes when there is no fish, just the yuca cake and the water.
Y esa es la comida todos los días.
That's the food every day, every month, every year.
Y ya cuando ellos, o sea, para conseguir pues lo que es la sal, el jabón para lavar la ropa o pilas para alumbrar de noche, entonces hacen el trueque pescando un poco más para cambiarlo.
Okay. Then if they need something like we said, the batteries, salt, and
Jabón.
y soap to.
Sí, para bañar.
Some of them they get accustomed to take a shower to use the soap, but most for the clothes.
Pero algunos como los que veíamos en las fotos que son seminómadas,
There are some of them that we just saw in the picture. Some of them are how do you call nomads? They don't live just in one place. They travel from place to place. How do you call that? Nomads. The same.
ellos utilizan a veces unas hojas para lavar la ropa o como de la penca, ¿sabes?
Sometimes, yes, they use a kind of leaves to wash the clothes
Para bañarse.
and also to take a shower. When they
Estos viven semidesnudos
They live almost naked, only cover their.
y en las casas, en la mayoría de las
Private.
casas ya de los que están civilizados, más sin embargo cuando están entre ellos viven semidesnudos.
Yes, when they are between them, they live naked, almost naked.
Porque no tienen pues mucha ropa para cambiar.
They don't have clothes, and maybe they don't have a lot of fish, so they can make trade and get clothes.
Vemos que las casas no tienen paredes,
The houses, they don't have walls, and everything is there. The kitchen, you see how they cook there, and they sleep in hammocks.
cuando tienen, hace lluvia, que hace un poco de frío, para la temperatura que se maneja, que siempre es entre 25 a 35 grados, entonces ellos prenden fuego cerca a sus hamacas para calentar.
When it gets cold, what they do is they have just the fire close to the hammocks to warm themselves.
How cold does it get?
The temperature is between, ¿cuánto dijiste la temperatura? De 25 a 35, eso sería 60, 80? Yes.
Huh?
From, I'm talking to from 60 to 75, 80,
That's
almost that's
warm.
the temperature.
Yeah, but when it's 90
Is
all
the,
the time.
and also is humid, porque es the jungle of course, is the Amazon.
Y allí donde queremos crear la nueva parroquia,
There when we want to have the new parish,
está a 35 minutos en avioneta de la capital.
35 minutes from the cathedral, from the capital, me too.
Son 10 comunidades con la sede donde quedará la parroquia, que es Buenos Aires.
Okay, there are 10 communities in this area, so the parish is gonna be for 10 communities, 4,000 people, and that is gonna be the parish.
So these communities, do they have infrastructure for schools or medical care and stuff like that?
For what?
Schools. For schools or
medicine.
You saw how the sisters, that the school.
No hay escuelas en esas comunidades así, las hermanitas las que están haciendo.
The sisters, they go like you saw there on the pictures, they will go have this little board, and that's their teach, that's
El
their school.
Estado, antes la iglesia tenía un convenio con el Estado debido a que estaban unas políticas. El mismo Estado se debió entregar esas escuelas que se tenían al Estado, pero por corrupción, también por políticas del mismo Estado, una escuela debe tener entre 25 a 35 estudiantes.
Okay, at the beginning there was like a covenant with the church and the government. So they will send money and the church will teach. They have the teachers. What happened is that, of course, they will want to teach wherever they want, the government. And also, there was a lot of corruption. And what happened is that they were trying to modernize the communities, and the church learned that that wasn't the way, because they thought, okay, we are going to teach them how to grow this, how to live in speak Spanish, and the younger, they were really afraid to speak their own languages. So at some point, the church said, okay, no, we cannot work with the government. So they took over the education, but of course there is a lot of corruption, and after that, they forgot about the schools and all the school system, education system.
Y se tiene todavía un sistema pues que implementó la iglesia, que era internados, los niños se internan y muchos papás no dejan ir a sus niños para ir a un kinder, a la primaria, cuando son muy pequeños todavía y no hay quien les lave la ropa, no hay quien les ayude, entonces por ello muchos niños se quedan sin estudiar.
So the church had a kind of a system to teach them, but the parents didn't allow them to come to school because they need the children to wash the clothes and do the home duties. So they didn't have education because of that. So some of them will come to school, but a lot of them they don't, because they need them at home to do stuff.
Do they have any way of getting medical facility,
No.
medicine?
No, Mary. So, actually, what is going to happen is if there is a headache, there is pain, they will come to the priest. And you cut yourself, they will come, and the priest is the one who is going to take care of that. That's the reason the medical, at the center of where the cathedral is, they do. But in the other 26 different communities, they don't have anything like that. So they will come to the priest, and whatever the priest can do.
In some of the ceremonies, we saw people in native costumes. How does that interact with the church?
En algunos de los videos que vimos había niños que estaban en sus vestiduras culturales. ¿Eso interfiere con la evangelización de la iglesia?
No,
Por ejemplo, en la catedral y la iglesia central.
sí, bueno, La iglesia ya no tiene solamente el conocimiento de la teología, la moral, sino conocimientos en antropología cultural, en etnología, y que son herramientas que nos dan a nosotros para valorar. Y dentro de la iglesia tenemos lo que se llama la inculturación, la teología de la inculturación, donde hay valores de ellos, hay danzas, hay manifestaciones culturales que no van en contra de la fe cristiana, sino que el Vaticano II lo ha llamado las semillas del verbo, o sea, la manifestación de Dios en ellos, que se expresa también en estas celebraciones.
You expected me to translate. So what happened is that since the Vatican II, the church, because before the Vatican II it was okay, this is the theology of the church, and we were based on the theology in the Bible, but now we do anthropological studies. So they really value their culture and their, for example, they dance and all this stuff. So that's what we call inculturation of the gospel. We go, we don't change their customs. So we see how Jesus Christ will get into their customs, into their culture. That's what they are trying to do. But they don't take, that's the reason they have they broke with the church, with the government. Because the government was trying to do, okay, you need to wear like clothes like we do. And they were the ones, the church is the only one who came and stays there. Have been there since 1914. Was the first time that
¿Quiénes fueron los primeros que llegaron en 1914?
En 1914 llegaron los misioneros de San Luis María Griñón de Montfort,
From Francia.
de holandés.
Yeah, from Holland came the first missionaries, and from a community, Montfort, the Montfortians priest, something like that.
Y en el año 49, 1949, llegamos los misioneros averianos de Yarumal, que son una comunidad colombiana fundada para trabajar en territorios de misión.
In 1949, came for the first time his community. He belongs to a community, is the Haverians? And also Father Juan Sanchez, he was in that community. That's how they met. So in 1949, they took care of the mission. Since then, they have been working there with the...
En esa época que llegaron los misioneros, pues se tenían convenios con el Estado, con el gobierno, donde se pensaba que evangelizar a los indígenas era también incluirlos dentro de la cultura del país. Entonces debían perder su lengua, aprender el español, aprender a vestirse como en el interior y abandonar sus culturas. Las comunidades evangélicas fueron muy duras con ellos, sí perdieron toda su cultura. La iglesia fue más despacio, la católica, y todavía conservan mucho su cultura. Ahora con los nuevos llamados de la iglesia, nosotros tratamos de que aprendan la lengua, de tener catequistas indígenas que les hablen en su propia lengua, que hayan manifestaciones culturales que al estudiarlas con ellos mismos están expresando en ellos la misma lengua.
Actually, this is part also of the video. The sister, they were explaining how do they work and what is the pastoral plan that they have now. So what they're trying to do is to have permanent deacons from every community. So they will come, they will learn in Spanish, and then they will go to their own communities, these permanent deacons, and they will teach in their own languages. Because there are many words in their own languages that they don't have translation into Spanish. For example, we were talking about the word lamb. They don't have, some communities, some languages, they don't have this word because they haven't seen a lamb in the jungle. So they have another animal, like it's called a manta. It's a wild animal that they use when they are going to make a sacrifice or when they are having a party. That's why they have this animal. So this is going to be like the lamb for them. So they need to be sure that those permanent deacons are going to go and really express what is in the gospel. Okay? So that's one way they are doing this.
Por ejemplo, en el año 2014, cuando llegué como obispo, hice unas oraciones el sábado de resurrección en lengua y pedí a algunos indígenas que leyeran e hicieran lecturas de las que hay que hacer para la vigilia en lengua. Al finalizar, una señora me dice que se alegraba mucho de que Dios hablara también su propia lengua, porque ella creía que Dios no sabía su lengua.
2014, when he got there as a bishop, he has been bishop for 5 years. Someone was asking how old is the bishop? Guess? 52. He's 52. He was made bishop when he was 46. He has been for 5 years there in the work. When he came there in 2014, in Holy Saturday, he went to have a celebration with a community. So he asked one of the catechists who know Spanish in their own language to translate some of the prayers in the gospel for the celebration that day. And he practiced, and then he read and did the mass in their own languages. And there was a lady crying because he said, "This is the first time that God spoke to me in my own language. And I know that he speaks my language too."
I'm just curious, what do they drink? They have water brought in or what?
Good question. And there we come. What do they drink? Wine? No. No way.
You were thinking it.
No, I was thinking.
So, what happened is, yes, one, their own drink is chicha. Chicha. Yes, that's a strong thing. When I got that for a mission they gave me, and I couldn't stand it. It's an ancestral beer, okay? So it can be made out of pineapple. You will take the skin of the pineapple. You will have put it with water for a long time under the ground. So that's one way. Other way is gonna be just ferment for 3 days. It's really strong. It's really strong.
Aguardiente. Aguardiente.
Yeah. Aguardiente. Quiet. No, they don't. Yes, when they come from America, they drink whiskey and aguardiente. No, for water. What they do for water is really important. They will have tanks, okay, on their houses, and the rainwater, they are gonna keep this water. So there is no way, and sometimes, okay, they are gonna have boiled water to trying to purify the water. What happens when there is no rain? They have to drink from the river. So that he was telling the story that there was a priest. He moved a priest out of the one community, asked him to go to another community. That was in December. When the new priest got there, on February, he went to drink the water, and he didn't know he got sick. What happened is that there was an animal on the tank, has been there for a long time, so the water was contaminated, and he was really sick. That priest almost died. So one thing that they really need is to filters to purify water, but it has to be, there is no electricity. Electricity only in B2. How do they make? They have a little more machines. They work with gas, and they will produce electricity, but only for the capital. And telecommunication phones only there, and maybe some of the nearest communities, but the others, they only communicate through letter. For example, the bishop was explaining when he will go to visit some communities, a lot of people will, okay, take this note to this uncle, to this person. That's how they do. There are communities where they see a priest only once a year, because imagine if you have to travel 6 hours in boat, and the gallon of gas is $9, and the diocese has to pay. So that's the reason.
I have a question. You said that the only way to get things to Me Too is by plane, okay? And then you have all these communities that are far from Me Too, right? So I guess what I'm thinking is, you know, we want to do something to help, but I don't understand how goods gets to them. Is there a regular supply? You know, does a plane come? Do the people have to come to Me Too to get stuff, or does it
Por
head out to
ejemplo,
the?
como de los bienes que llegan a Mito, ¿cómo se distribuyen a estas comunidades que están tan lejanas? Por ejemplo, las que tienen 6 horas de lancha, si se quieren llevar, por ejemplo, se envían donaciones, ¿cómo llegan allá?
The only way to get the things from the capital, Me Too, to these places, one way is walking.
Okay.
You saw the ways can be 6-12 hours between to get there. The other way is the little planes. Of course, the indigenous, they don't have the money to pay for that. So what they do is, has to be, well, that's the most of the job is the church. So they will get supplies, not many supplies, of course, really what they need, because it's really expensive, and the planes has to be really small. So,
Simple question.
clothes they don't use. Somebody said clothes?
Boats.
Boats? Yes, but the problem is, we saw actually, they explained that in the video. What happened to you? Were you sleeping?
Some parts are not.
You saw how first they will go ride a boat to some place for, let us say, 3 hours. They will leave the boat there, but then they have to walk through the jungle and get to other place when they can ride boats again, because there are many parts of the river that cannot be ride by boat. So what happened is, what you are gonna take, of course there are 26 communities.
No se pueden llegar a todas en avioneta.
No.
¿A cuántas más o menos?
Unas 20.
Yes, to 20 communities you can get through this motor plane. It's a small one for 8 people. You can get to 20 of them. The others you can get walking or to boat. But you have to carry the stuff. Okay, first for some hours, number of hours, you ride the boat with all the stuff. Then you have to walk for 3-4 hours and then get to the river again when you can ride the boat again.
How many supplies would brought in to build the church?
Good question.
Do you have the people there that have the knowledge to build a church?
Yes, we discussed that. They are gonna the basis of the, how do you call that, the foundations are gonna be concrete. It's the only, because everything comes to airplane. The other is gonna be wood that they have to cut there in the jungle. And you say how? They only have this call is a single machine. You can cut only one tree at a time, and it works with gas. How do you call it? Those. That's the only way. And then we try to cut it nice, so it will not be really rustic, because there's no way they are gonna have like a beautiful stones or something like that.
Father Victor, do they have a budget for the church, and how does the American dollar convert to Colombia?
I asked this question of Bishop Medardo the other night. Well, first of all, yeah, they will have a budget. And when he spoke about the building of the church the other night, he said it will be very expensive. My question to him later, after we get back to the house, is, I know what expensive means here. What does expensive mean there? Well, if we look at it and we were talking about building a new church, we'd be talking about $1 million+. Okay? So I asked him, when you convert that to Colombian pesos, what are we talking about? Are you ready for this? $40,000.
Wow.
$40,000. So, because it is simply the foundation of concrete and wood that's there. Okay, and it's a simple structure. You know, they don't build the churches like we do here. You know, where everybody can get what they want in the church. That doesn't happen there. They build a simple structure where they can come together and worship God. So the price is expensive for them. But when we look at helping with the building of a church, that $40,000 is less than our current Partners in Charity goal for Good Shepherd.
Well, I can give half of that. My salary. Yes.
Suppose that this table got together and sent a package to the cathedral and me too, with soap, first aid supplies, and anything else that we could think of that you could use. Would it get to the cathedral and me too?
It will, but we have to pay. It's expensive, but it will. Actually, one way is it will can go to Medellin or to the conference, the conference of bishops in Bogota, and from Bogota is 1 hour. It will get to the cathedral. Yes. Actually, we already have the address.
So how much would it cost you?
Usually, I have seen something to call. ¿Cuánto vale el envío de una caja de Bogotá a Mitur? Pesos.
Depende porque es por tamaño y peso.
Más o menos una caja.
Más o menos una caja de
Sometimes it gets
10
complicated.
kilos, vale unos.
That's what I was checking.
Okay. Yes, we are talking about a box, 20 pounds. It's gonna be $50 from the capital to the cathedral. And we don't know, from here, sometimes it's $80 to send it to Colombia. So, but you know, it's a good question. We were discussing that before. It is cheaper to buy in Colombia than to send from here, unless we wanna send, for example, chalices or something really for the liturgy, something like that. But things like that is gonna be less expensive there.
Okay, thank you.
5 more minutes. The pastor said. Jason?
I'm just curious, so, let's say, we're able to help fund a new parish there. How will they be able to support it?
It's a very